Hello everyone. This is Dr. Abha Pimbrikar, President DAGMI 3030, and we have our signature project by the name Mind Matters, which is a e-magazine, and we are coming up with the special edition on cyber psychology. And for that, we thought of having a word with team iMature. So Raghu Pandey sir is with us, who is the founder of iMature, and Geetanjali Jha, who also works for iMature. Also, she is co-editor of Mind Matters. So let me introduce Raghu sir first. He is India's leading expert in the domain of digital citizenship and internet maturity education. He has been working on it since more than a decade now. He has authored a book on that subject, designed a curriculum for schools, developed an online course, and founded an edtech startup, iMature.in, which is India's only organization dedicated to digital citizenship education. Wow. So I would like to know about this only organization, sir.
Right, ma'am.
So,
And as you so kindly introduced us, iMature.in is an edtech startup which is dedicated to, I would say, the cause of digital citizenship and internet maturity education. So this field, this niche of education has become a prominent thing in the education community in the developed countries. So there, you will find many schools having digital citizenship as a regular subject being taught to the teenage students. But in India, uh, are still not seeing momentum around it. So due to my long experience of past initiatives in the field of edtech, I chanced upon this gap, and then I thought that this needs to be a full-fledged subject, and I created this organization, iMature.in, to fill this major gap of Indian students not having learning resources to learn DCIM skills. So this is the mission, this is the vision of iMature EdTech, and we have been around since 2018. And as you introduced us, we have released a curriculum and it's a free curriculum for schools to adopt and start teaching digital citizenship. There is an online course. We have created a lot of learning resources around this subject, and we think we have just begun.
wow. Now, let us have a quick introduction of Geetanjali Jha. We call her Geetu. She is the head of digital parenting program and cyber psychology researcher with iMature EdTech. And as I was saying, she is a co-editor of Mind Matters. So those who know about Dagmi and those who read Mind Matters regularly, she is another face behind the magazine. People majorly know myself and Rita ma'am as editor and co-editor, but Gitanjali equally is the person who puts all the efforts, and in fact, it is her idea to bring the cyber psychology as a special issue, and that is why we are conducting this interview or the talk today. Gitu, please tell me, how did you get involved with iMature, and a little bit about maybe digital citizenship.
Okay, so thanks for the glowing introduction, and very happy to be here with this very niche topic. So I was working as a school counselor for a certain well-reputed schools of Bhopal for quite a long time. So from there, I got this experience that since the past decade, even before the COVID lockdown and all the online classes began, parents were coming with a lot of problems and queries about how to safeguard their children from the digital world, from the online world, and they're using the screens too much of gaming addiction, so much so that some students of 8th and 9th standards would skip school just to play online games at night. So there are so many live games, right? So they were playing all of those, and then suddenly that blue whale also came in, and all the parents were just flabbergasted ki what is happening, ye kya ho raha hai itna zyada, my child, I want him to be safe. But they had no clue whatsoever as to how to safeguard their children. So I'm not trying to boast too much, but I find myself to be a very technologically interested and savvy person, and I like to explore new things. So what clicked in my mind was that one thing is, you are not able to find solutions for these problems. Ki how to save, how to prevent your child from doing all of this mischief online, and leaving him unsupervised is also very difficult for parents. And all the parents are working. There are also some single mothers who are finding it very difficult to do this. And what was amusing was that nobody was talking about the good side of the internet, that there are some good opportunities also, how you can expose your child to the better part of it. So because of this, this was back in 2016 or 17, when I was already getting all of these queries and problems from the parents. During the parent teacher meeting, around I would say less, I won't say more, but not even less than 50% of the parents would inquire from me as a school counselor about the child's online activities only. So it was still a very big chunk of parents who were inquiring about it, because academics are also getting affected, right? So I was looking for something, and I was very new to Bhopal at that time. But fortunately, I met some groups and some people, some very senior psychologists in Bhopal, who then introduced me to Raghu sir. And from there, I got into that. That zone of understanding about digital citizenship and internet maturity. And I also learned the course from Raghu sir, and he trained me to be an expert in DCIM. And now I'm trying to do the same. And DCIM is basically digital citizenship and internet maturity. So digital citizenship is when you are a citizen of the cyber world, of the digital world, when you have your social media accounts, be it Facebook or LinkedIn or WhatsApp, even Gmail or Yahoo Mail, whatever. So once you are on into the digital world, you are a digital citizen. And internet maturity is simple to understand, though it might be a new term for quite a few people. Being mature on the internet, like we mature in our normal lives, right, in the developmental stages of psychology as we study. So being a mature user of the internet is internet maturity. And through this course of DCIM, we teach people how to use their discretion, their judgment, in what is unsafe and what is safe and what is good upon the internet, and how to make the best use of the internet. So I hope I have answered the question, and Raghu sir may augment it.
Yeah, but before that, I would like to know a little bit about Raghu sir's journey, because in his introduction, he has written that he has been working in this field more than a decade. And when we discussed, and when you told me that up till now, iMature is the only Indian institute who is talking about this. So I would like to know more about that. Also, little bit about the book, Raghu sir, that you have written.
Surely, ma'am. So, I have been an edtech entrepreneur since 2006. So it's been 16 years now. So my first startup was iBranch.in, and we used to provide knowledge sharing portals to schools and colleges. So every school or college would get one dedicated portal from us, and that portal included discussion forums, blog, document sharing facilities, notice boards, and all the technological tools for the students and teachers to share knowledge in day to day, so that the learning environment in a college or a school can extend beyond the classrooms and beyond the building of that institution, and it can become a 24/7 uh, space for students and teachers to share knowledge. That was the idea. And our technology was good, our pricing was very good, it was extremely affordable for all kinds of institutions. uh, but still we had to shut it down. And the reason was that even though the management very enthusiastically took our management of the institutions, schools and colleges, they very enthusiastically took our services. And but when the time of renewal came the next year, they used to point out that our students and even teachers are not using it. So what was surprising initially for me was that all of those students and teachers uh, were otherwise very active on the other arenas of internet of those days: Yahoo chat, Yahoo groups, Orkut, early days of Facebook, early days of YouTube. They were all pretty active because we targeted those institutions which had Wi-Fi facilities, students with laptops. So we knew that we are not going to target the people who are not having access. Let's target the people who have access. So we did that, but even those students did not use the services. So then I went into diagnosis mode, and I found that almost every student is lacking a set of skills which allows him or her to leverage the tools of internet for education and career. And also uh, students are not aware about the pitfalls, the external threats, the internal risks. So I combined all of those things, the gaps which I found, uh, skill gaps to make the best use of internet, and the skill gaps to stay safe from the threats and dangers of internet. I combined all of those skill gaps, and I called that internet maturity. So so I coined this around 2010. And by that time, I had done a lot of seminars and trainings to, trying to educate students and pump them up. But, behavior modification doesn't happen through trainings and on-stage talks. So it did not happen. So I decided to, wind up ibranch.in. And my initial thought about the work of internet maturity was that I have a lot of material accumulated around this thing. I have a lot of experience of talking about this thing to students, this addressing the skill gap. So, let's monetize whatever I have and then do something else. So that was my first initial thought. So to monetize what all things I had done, I thought of writing a book. Uh, so I did that. I took leisurely 2 years to write the book. And why it was such a long time? Because although I had all the material ready with me, I wanted to make it, fun to read to a student. Otherwise, it would be just a bitter pill of do's and don'ts and instructions, being pushed down children's throat. Did not want that to happen. So I took 2 years of time, and I authored this book called Become an iMature Student. So when I self-published it, and I took it to some schools in Bhopal, and I introduced them that this is a concept called digital citizenship and internet maturity. This is the skill gap it addresses. It's very relevant for you. And they happily started a pilot program with us, wherein my book was given to the students, the teenage students, as a part of their syllabus, as a part of their academic program. And we ran that pilot for one full year. So this is how the journey till, how I chanced upon internet maturity, how I authored the book. Then from after this pilot, the things got a bit more serious for me because the outcome was very positive. All stakeholders were appreciating the concept of DCIM. But at the same time, people told me that book is not the natural choice for teenagers these days to pick up and learn something. Barring a few exceptional students, other students do not like to pick up books and read and learn. So I decided that to make the consumption of DCM knowledge easier and interesting for students, and also for our startup to scale up globally, we need a digital version of our content. And that's how idea of creating online courses on DCIM came to me. And then converting it into a full-fledged company, that also was a natural choice. And 2018 started up, and as ma'am said, got associated with ma'am and other great professionals. And this is how we progressed to where we are today.
That's great. So I just checked your website. So I realized that there are some skill sets that iMature or the DCIM course is offering. So I want you to elaborate on that. And also, who would be benefited by this, or as we say, the popular word is target audience. So, which age group or all of us will get benefited by that? Also, I could see that there are levels, like you have introduced few levels and you are about to introduce few levels. So I understand, the depth of knowledge and other skill sets. So please tell us about that also.
Certainly, ma'am. DCIM is basically a set of 10 skills, a combination of 10 skills, none of which are optional. So it is a kind of a compulsory, a set of 10 compulsory skills, which every individual in 21st century must have. I'll tell you in detail what those skills are, but I will answer the target audience question first. Uh, Although the target audience for our knowledge are all internet users, starting from pre-teen to highest bracket of age, but currently we are we are making our efforts to target the teenage students because those are the formative years, and this is where the negative impacts are, being seen the most. Negative impacts of internet are being seen the most, and also if DCM education is given in this age bracket, the positive impacts will be seen the best when they mature in age. So that's why we are targeting teenage students as our target learners. uh, but the target customers are obviously our parents and the schools, which are concerned about the online upbringing and of the children, success and well-being of the children. Uh, Now coming to these 10 compulsory skills which comprise DCIM subject, it starts with understanding what is Web 2.0. Uh, Basically, Web 2.0 is the new form of internet which evolved in the mid 2000s, around 2004, 5. The roots are well before in the late 90s, but it started showing up and becoming a part of people's life around mid 2000s. Uh, Wherein users are interacting with users are creating content for other users. So the entire internet around you today is user generated content or user to user networking. In these two big uh, brackets, you can put the entire internet almost, right? So a person must understand that all the content around me is 99.99% created by just another user, and that leaves me with responsibility and also a sense of power. Responsibility is that I should not accept anything without cross checking whether it has coming from an expert or a layman or who, because anybody can create content. That mindfulness has to be there. Number two, I have the power of creating content and being in front of a million or a billion people. That did not exist when uh, you and me were children or when we were growing, right? If you have to be you have to be present in front of a million people, you had to be in a newspaper or a magazine or a TV channel, and that was not accessible to an average person. Now it is. So that is why this understanding of the new form of internet, Web 2.0, is very critical to everything which follows. The next thing which follows is called digital literacy. That is ability to create digital content and share it online. So you might, many people confuse digital citizenship education with digital literacy. They say that these are synonyms. They change it. They use the terms interchangeably, but that's not right. Digital literacy is your ability to use basic software for creating documents, writing text online, creating a graphic or an image, or recording an audio and sharing it online, or recording a video. So your information, your knowledge, can you present it through digital medium? That is digital literacy, right? And can you share it with other people? That is digital literacy. So that is the first step when you enter the digital world. The third compulsory skill is mature way of social networking. Facebook and Instagram. These are the two most popular social networks around us. So what is the mature way of using these platforms? The next one is to to use the professional network, that is the LinkedIn, in a mature way and for the purpose, right purpose of your life. The next skill, fifth one is uh, having the skills to discuss on online forums. Online forums are very special kind of places on internet wherein the experts of a certain domain come and they talk to all the people on the forum. They can be newbies, they can be other experts, which is very unique thing which doesn't exist anywhere else on internet or also in the real life, wherein people from across the globe, the minds and the brains from across the globe on a certain topic can come at a place and discuss, and even without the restriction of the time. That is why it's extremely important knowledge sharing tool. Next one is the next skill is to express yourself through blogging. So blog writing is not just hitting publish button after entering some text on your blog. That is the technical way of doing it. But what is the strategic way of expressing your knowledge in front of people that it creates the maximum impact? All right. So when we say blogging skills for self-expression, it's not about the technical skills of creating a blog, writing something, adding an image, hitting the publish button. It's not that. It's about the strategy of presenting what in the best. For example, presenting a detailed article versus presenting a simple video. Is there a difference? Yes, there is. So yes, strategize karna. That is what is self-expression skills. The next is the most underrated skill I would call, and that is making the best use of Google or making the best use of online search engines to find trustworthy and legally usable knowledge. The most underrated skill on internet, because everybody Googles and think that we can Google, but it is a big challenge to find trustworthy knowledge and legally usable knowledge online. The next one is to leverage massive open online courses and open courseware, which are there on internet, created by the best of the professors from the best of the universities, probably available for free for your success, for your learning, for your academics. Why this is an important skill? Because this is not YouTube or Netflix, wherein you can just start a video while having lunch or dinner and end the video when you are done. It is learning strategically. Then the next skill is to keep yourself safe. Very, very important. Big topic. Keep yourself safe from external threats and keep your own internal risks, which can, hamper or which can destroy your well-being, in check. The final one we call as the black belt of internet maturity is uh, how to create a positive online reputation for yourself, which attracts the right kind of opportunities to you. Why is it the black belt? Because it uses all the above 9 skills to ensure that you have crafted an online reputation for yourself, uh, that people, organizations, opportunities, they come to you for the right reasons and appreciate you and give you opportunities. So these are the 10 skills which comprise digital citizenship and internet maturity. And I'll conclude by saying that you can sense that none of it is technology, all of it is psychology. It is about the behavior of a person online. So that is the reason iMature.in gives it is critical for us to work with cyber psychologists and the top experts in the domain, and hence we have Dr. Geetanjali Jha working with us as the head of cyber psychology. So I hope that I also made the connect between why DCIM is a psychology subject, and ma'am can throw more light on it later then.
So, when we were doing the Mind Matters issue, teenage mental health, Gitu ma'am insisted that we should not cover a topic, cyber psychology, in that particular edition. She insisted that we will have a special edition focused on cyber psychology. And that time I had a feeling, उसमें क्या है? Like how do I access my internet? How do I reply? I should take care of not, posting certain pictures. But today I'm getting the bigger picture when you're talking in depth about the skill sets and other terminologies. So Gitu, how do you feel that this concept will implement in the real life of individuals? Like we have talked all the theory part of it, how to put it practically. Also, as sir mentioned, that this is a part of nothing but behavioral psychology. So what what you feel that people should change about their online behavior as a first priority?
Oh, I think about the first priority, sir would be the better person to answer, and the rest of the question I can take.
Yeah,
Sure. So
Raghu
you
sir?
want me to, take this first, the what people
Yes, sir,
should change with
please.
the first
Please
priority?
do.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So again, I mean, I am not a psychologist. I'm not a behavior expert. It is a personal observation of mine, through which I am, answering this. Uh, I believe the mindfulness about all the tools of internet. I don't again want to be sound very theoretical, but every tool has a purpose. It has been designed with a purpose. So when we're talking about all the 10 skills, so whether it is a social networking website, whether it is a professional networking website, whether it is a discussion forum, a blog, and a search engine, all of these things have a defined purpose, behind creating these tools. And people of today, use it, all of these things very, very mindlessly, I see. So wherever you are, be a little mindful that if it is social networking, then I must understand what is social networking, why I should be using Facebook, and why I should be using Instagram, not just because I can, push certain buttons and do some entertainment and funny stuff. I'm doing it. Similarly, with LinkedIn, I see so many people using LinkedIn like a social network, and it sounds and it looks very hilarious when people. So that is my first. That is my suggestion about what people should change in their behavior on first priority. Understanding the purpose of all the tools that you are in. आपके मोबाइल में इतने सारे जो apps के icons हैं, they are not just to be tapped, they are to be understood why it exists in world first place. So that's number one,
I
and there are
totally
so
agree
many
with that, sir.
so many other things, but
Yes.
highest priority is this.
Yes, sir. So my answer would have been pretty much the same, because in a single word, if I can say, the first to be changed about the internet usage is the attitude towards the internet usage.
Right.
Because it's just like when television came in, it was a source of infotainment, not entertainment. And slowly, gradually, it became the chatterbox of the house, the idiot box of the house. And in the previous decade or a couple of decades back, that was the challenge of the parents कि बच्चों को टीवी से कैसे दूर करना है. And now it has become a little different. So it's the same thing which applies here. Internet is a tool not purely for entertainment, but it's a tool for infotainment, and both the parents and the children must understand this thing has to be hammered into their heads. Only then will this change in attitude, and then by extension the change in behavior come in. Because how are behaviors formed? They are formed because of stimulus and response. So if a child, say a toddler, is weeping because he doesn't want to eat what his mother has cooked, and the mother simply puts in some video in front of him so that the child will mindlessly keep watching the video and eating, that's a very bad attitude and a very bad response and a very bad behavior to form. So for kids of that small an age, the parents will have to change the attitude, put in a little effort, maybe entertain the child in some other way. Or if you're not sleeping, sing lullabies, tell him stories, talk to your child. Don't give him the mobile or the TV screen ki bacha wo dekhte dekhte so jayega. I'm sorry, I'm lapsing into Hindi so often, but what happens is when I talk very passionately, I keep switching between languages. I'll try to stick to English. So the point is, the attitude change is the first priority if we want a change in behavior of the internet usage. So that was that part of your question. And Abhavan, could you please repeat the other part of the question? Missed that.
So how does this concept of a DCIM and internet maturity implement in the real lives of individuals?
Okay, ma'am. So it's the 21st century life skill, as I said. All the other life skills which were there, which are taught in school, and all the sanskar that the parents are teaching their children, all of them remain. But now this internet, this one thing which is here in our faces, and it is not going away anywhere. It's only going to increase in its impact. So learning internet maturity is the 21st century life skill, which is a must for everyone. And as we discussed that a change in attitude is what is going to affect the change in behavior, I stick to that. And I would just like to iterate a few small points about it. If there is something new and you are not aware of its implications, its threats, its consequences, its applications, what is good about it, what is bad about it, then you put yourself at an immense risk of getting into some trap, right? The pitfalls, as we were talking about earlier. So, if, for example, let's take the topic of cyberbullying here. Cyberbullying is something which happens very often. Trolling is something which happens very often, and we see that it happens with the film stars, those which are worshipped like demigods in our country. So the masses are nothing. Fat shaming, body shaming, talking about skin color, talking about how rich or poor you are, talking about the content that somebody is posting or the pictures that somebody is posting. It happens, and people just simply tear someone apart if they just start, and somehow humans find pleasure in doing it. So if a person learns this life skill of becoming internet mature, then two things will happen. One is that they will not become um, the perpetrators of such atrocities, because they will know that this is wrong. And secondly, they will not become victims of these atrocities because they will know it is wrong. So in both the ways, it's a practical real life implementation of digital citizenship and internet maturity skills. Secondly, if I may reiterate a very cliche example of this, and something which actually has happened to people that I know. Somebody posted their vacation plans on the internet. Yeah, this flight, this airport, 15 days going outside. By the time they came back, somebody had robbed their house, because they knew people are stalking you on Facebook. You don't know who's looking at you. So if you see that the implications of the cyber world are also there very much in the physical world, and somebody who's looking at you, you do not know, some ill-meaning stranger, or even somebody that you know remotely, and they don't like you, they might be harmful to you in your real life as well. Your children, or suppose if a teenager is posting some stuff about themselves, about their family. It happens quite a lot of times that there's a child of 14 15 years and not getting too much along with the parents, which is again an age related thing. In the developmental psychology, the teenagers think that the parents don't understand them, because the problems of my life are very different from what my parents face, which is called personal fable, that nobody will understand what I am going through. So the child is ranting about how she had a tiff with her mother and the parents don't understand. An ill-meaning stranger take advantage of this child and brainwash her into doing something bad, groom her into doing something really, really harmful to her personality, and that might be detrimental to her whole life. So I don't think I need to go on more like further to emphasize how the learning of DCM skills is directly applicable in the real life of people.
In fact, I would also want to just add one sentence to
Yes,
the
sir.
amazing explanation which Geetanjali ma'am has given. And if in one sentence, I would like to tell you that why this is very, very important in the real world is for any person today, especially the children and youth, some of the most serious threats, most life-threatening threats in their life are going to come from the internet. And all of the major opportunities of their life personal life, professional life. I underline the word, all of the major opportunities are going to come to them through internet. So the skills to avoid the threats and the skills to
Hmm.
grab the opportunities are extremely critical for their success, survival, well-being in the real life.
So, what should we do as parents? And when we say we as parents, I include the teachers also, because if I'm talking about my daughter, half of the day she's in the school. So over there, the teachers and the other staff, they are in the position of her parent for that particular time span. So what precaution we should do, or is there any way that we can include this as a curriculum or part of the curriculum in the academics?
Ma'am, should I take it first and then
Yes,
you
sir,
would want to
please,
take
please,
it later?
please.
Okay. Uh, Ma'am, as parents and teachers, the very first thing that is required is an acceptance of the fact that these set of skills are now very, very important, critical, and these are not workshop topics. So it's not just that one or two workshops, if the child has gone through, or if a child has been given a list of do's and don'ts, or if the child has been given a video to look at, the problem has been solved. No, the acceptance should be that the way we are nurturing our children to be good at mathematics, English, other subjects, and or sports or something, wherein years of practice are required to be good at that skill, the same level of dedication and investment of time, money, and energy is required for a child to become internet mature. I very passionately say that the uh, biggest responsibility of a digital parent is to make the child internet mature. And so that is the first thing that a parent should do, is to accept the fact that now this is one skill which needs to be nurtured in the child, not required. I guess ma'am would want to elaborate on this.
Yes, sir. Mostly the same things. That the responsibility of the parents as such here is to first understand what are the threats and opportunities, and understand their own digital parenting style, as we call it, which again comes from the psychological background of the real life parenting styles. So understand what they're doing wrong in parenting their child with the online world, and what are the gaps they should fulfill those. And yes, the first step would be to accept that this is a change which is coming in, and just by gaining a certificate, it's not going to go away. Getting a certificate or doing a 1 hour workshop in the schools, they claim this, that yes, we do this cyber psychology workshop and we do this, but is it actually affecting any change in the student's life? That's important to know. And as far as educators are concerned, yes, I do agree that educators are like the vicarious parents of the child. Half a day they are parenting your child. So definitely, not just the biological parents of the child, but also the educator parents of the child. That includes the academic admin. It would include the principals and directors of the school also, the counselors, the teachers, all of them should know what internet maturity is. We are not asking everybody to become an expert in it, but even if they are aware of these 10 skills that we talked about, they will be able to take it more seriously, and they'll be able to guide the child better as to what at what level the involvement of authorities is required, and at what level they can solve it on their own. So yes, again, a change in attitude is required as a first priority.
Yeah. So I think we are about to, come to the end of our video. But before we do that, Raghu sir, I wanted to ask. I just, browsed through the website, and the very first thing I liked was the homepage. Okay, what I liked is a boy sitting with the mobile in his hand and a snake lurking. At the same time, there is a ladder. The kid just has to have to, keep that mobile aside, and with the help of the ladder, he has to walk away from the threats of the this thing, the cyber threats, we can say. What I wanted to ask you also is the website contains a lot of toolkits and some other material from maybe other websites or other countries who are working in the same field. Once we finish our discussion, I would request you to, share some links with me, which we can add in the comment box for the viewers to see. Because for me, it was quite overwhelming to browse through the website, and nowadays people want, of course I do understand the importance that it is not a workshop topic, but people want certain things, 2 minute ka maggie. So if we could have some toolkits or some links which the audience and the readers can easily access, so that is a request, that after we finish our video, please share those with me. And the question is how that idea came to your mind about that snakes and ladders in a different format as the homepage of the website.
Sure, ma'am. To answer the first part first, we would be very happy to share the links to all the resources that we have created. There are lots of Maggies and cookies on our website. Cookies, I mean, वो थोड़ा सा अलग connotation हो जाता है. Lot of good things to be shared with the community. And definitely we would love to share the links to all of those resources. There are resources for parents, for students, for teachers, and for schools. I would especially like to mention schools because I and Geetanjali ma'am have recently, worked on a concept called DCIM Club for a school. So for any school to take the baby steps towards including DCIM as a full-fledged subject, forming a small team of students and teachers and calling them the DCIM club is a amazing way to go about. And we have created that toolkit entirely, completely free for schools to use. So we'll provide the link to that as well. Coming to the second part, yes, I would love to talk about that. The snakes and ladders, because that thing, that imagery, that graphic, which everyone in the world understands, whether it is in India or anywhere else in the world, people know what is snakes and ladders. Snakes bite you and push you down in the game. It's a disadvantage. Ladders take you up. It's an advantage. It's an opportunity. Snake is a threat. So since internet maturity or digital citizenship and internet maturity is a subject at the core of which is equal importance to opportunities and threats. Otherwise, also, you will find many experts who are experts on cybersecurity, cyber safety, or experts of creating a career out of internet. But DCIM is one very unique approach, very unique subject, which gives equal importance to the opportunities of internet and the threats. So after a lot of deliberation, trial and error, this thing came out that, representing the entire concept through the board, which is full of internet icons, which is the digital life of a person, at the center of which there is a teenage child with the mobile phone in hand. On the one side, all the opportunities which can take you high up in life, and on the other, all the threats which can ruin your life. So it came gradually, very slowly, but gradually. It was not a stroke of genius. It was a very slow evolving. 10 साल यही किया है मैम. So that's how it evolved in the past couple of years, and it's the main graphic of our website. And as you can see, it's right behind me here in my office also. So we use it a lot to explain people what is DCIM basically.
Yeah. If you have to sum up all our discussion, what is your message to our readers, the Matters readers? This question is for both of you.
Ma'am, would you like to take it first?
No, sir, I would prefer if you take it.
Okay. Ma'am, I'll keep my message very short. Please, whoever you are, student, teacher, parent, grandparent, or a well-intentioned human, whoever you are, please educate yourself about this new subject which has evolved in the world called digital citizenship and internet maturity. There are many amazing resources online, which are from US, Canada, all these countries. You can go to those resources, or you can go to iMature.in also. As we promised, we'll be giving you some links. In those links, there will be one which is open curriculum for teaching digital citizenship and internet maturity in schools. There are 15 topics which this subject should deal with. Just go through them, and it won't take more than 5 minutes. Just spend 5 minutes on knowing those 15 topics, and rest, everything will unfold from there. So that's my message. Just 5 minutes for your own knowledge, own general knowledge about DCI.
What I would like to say is, please treat this with urgency and seriousness, because this isn't something that you can wish away, that one fine day I'll wake up and I'll close the factory of internet. That is never going to happen. And if you think that the age old disciplining techniques of children, creating a curfew or an absence of a gadget or something, is going to work, or you say no and the child is going to obey, that's also not going to happen. Because now they have tasted the chocolate, and there is no more a world where this chocolate doesn't exist for the kids. It is very enticing for everyone, for all age groups, even for us. So it does need to be treated with urgency, I would say. So please do treat it with that much of respect and dignity as it requires. And I hope that we have been able to give that message through this talk.
In a nutshell, I remembered my mother. She would always say there is a difference between being Sakshar and Sushikshit. So Sakshar is a person who can read and write. Similarly, I guess for the internet usage, it's a person who can operate the smartphone or the laptop. And Sushikshit is a knowledgeable person with the understanding where to apply that knowledge. So when we are talking about this, I think we are talking about becoming internet mature. So I thank both of you, Raghu sir and Gitu ma'am, for giving your timing. I know we have been talking about this since long. Finally, today is the day that we could meet and talk to each other. Thanks a lot for your valuable timings and the knowledge sharing. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.